Okay, so today's portion is Vayeishev. I want to talk about a few main things to start. I want to talk about the words Vayeishev Yaakov. Yaakov settled in the land. Then I want to talk about the bad tidings that he brought to his father, the Batam that Yosef brought to his father Yaakov. And I want to talk about how Joseph's brothers missed his greatness. So the first thing I want to talk about is how much I missed all of you. Some of you I see I haven't seen in a few weeks. So good to be studying together again. All right. So it says, Vayeishev Yaakov. Yaakov settled the Eretz Migurei Aviv, the land that his father sojourned in, the Eretz Canaan, in the lands of Canaan. Says the Rashi. Rashi says a lot of beautiful things. But this Rashi always gets at me. I always like to review this Rashi every year, Parshas Vayeishev. Says the Rashi, Bikesh Yaakov Vayeishev b'shalva. What does it mean Yaakov settled? Yaakov settled in the land which his father sojourned in. It should have said Vayechi Yaakov. Yaakov lived. Or Vayagar Yaakov. Why does it say Yaakov settled in the land? She says, Bikesh Yaakov Vayeishev b'shalva. Yaakov said, you know what? I've had a hard life. Let me settle down in tranquility. Yaakov said, I want to take it easy. I don't need to wake up and study early in the morning. I don't need to push myself. I want to just chill. That's what Yaakov said. The turmoil of Joseph jumped all over him. Tzadikim mevakshim leishev b'shalva. The righteous want to just chill in this world. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Modayon with tzadikim. Masha mesukan lam olam haba. Aren't the tzadikim satisfied? They're going to have plenty of time to enjoy the rewards for their life in the next world. They want to sit in tranquility in this world as well. Meaning to say, Yaakov Avinu sought to check out early, cash in his chips before it was his time. Hashem said, it's not your time. You're not ready yet. You're not ready yet. You still have to be working with tremendous, you still have to be working. You have a lot of work left to do for Am Yisrael. This is not the time to chill. That was the message that Hashem gave him. And I saw that the Mashkiach, Rav Volbe, said something very similar. Took it from Yaakov. He took it from Rashi. When Yaakov sought serenity, he says, how could it be that Yaakov Avinu sought serenity? Do you think, says Rav Volbe, Yaakov Avinu sought to spend his days just sitting in a recliner with a cigar? Do you think that's what Yaakov Avinu wanted to do? Yaakov Avinu is the symbolism of perpetual Torah study. And all he was saying was, he felt that his life would be better. Yaakov Avinu didn't want to just spend his life playing golf. That's not what he was trying to do. I'm not criticizing those who play golf, God forbid. I'm just saying that's not Yaakov. Yaakov Avinu wasn't saying, listen, I'm going to skip my daily daf yomi and instead I'll spend my whole days playing golf. I'm done with Torah study. That's not what Yaakov Avinu would ever do. Rather, Yaakov Avinu said, okay, I've been working my whole life for the Jewish people. Now I want to just study Torah every day. That's what he was trying to do. He said, I want to settle Torah in tranquility. That's what Yaakov Avinu was saying. Let me live my spiritual life in tranquility. His tranquility is so bad. So says Rav Yerucham. Who's Rav Yerucham? Rav Yerucham was the mashkiach of the mir, the old mir, the original mir. And he said, you'll never find the recliner in a factory. Since everyone in the factory is working, there's no time to sit back and relax. We're not meant to amble through a utopian life in this world. It's not meant to be relaxing. So if you find like your life is stressed, that's the way it's supposed to be. And we know that Yaakov Avinu's life was full of difficulty. He said so himself when he comes to Paro. He says, the days of my life are short and hard. His brother Esav and he had Brigus. His father seemed to favor his brother. He had to run away because his brother was going to kill him. He gets to pick his wife, and his father-in-law, gives him a heartache. And then his father-in-law tries to kill him. Finally, he gets away from his father-in-law, and he escapes his brother Esav, and then he has the problems with his daughter Dinah. Finally, he gets home, and Yosef is sold by his brothers. And Yaakov ends up in exile in Egypt. Yaakov Avinu's life was not chill, not for 1 second. So why was he given these struggles? So that he realized that in this world he must rise above adversity to perform to the best of his ability. Nobody chooses these struggles, but when we have these struggles, it brings out the best in all of us. And so sometimes people say, oh, I can't focus on the Torah study because I have too many other things going on. Just the opposite. When you have other stresses in your life, that's when your Torah study is the best. That's when your davening is the best. That's when we're supposed to rise above the external factors that others place in our paths to test us. Rabbi Chaim Soloveitchik, he later became known as the Brisker Rav. He once asked his son, Rabbi Moshe Soloveitchik, he once asked him to bring him a specific book. After completing the task, Rav Chaim asked his son, what were you thinking when I told you to get that book? The son told him that he encountered a difficulty in the Rambam that he was trying to solve. Meaning to say, when he went to get the book, he solved a very complex Talmudic problem. So the Brisker Rav explained, I could have gotten that book myself, but I wanted you to get used to thinking about Torah when you're under pressure, when you're preoccupied with other things. Meaning to say, all the stresses in life should not be seen as distracting us from Torah. It should be leading us to Torah. Yaakov Avinu, the basic point he's saying is Yaakov Avinu thought that since it was a time, he thought, let me just study my Torah in peace, and I'll be able to study better. Just the opposite, the more stress we have in life, the better we'll be able to study. The more challenges, the better we'll be able to study. The better we'll be able to daven. And that's, I guess, the message for all of us. The real world message is, when we feel like these challenges, and there's nobody alive who doesn't feel them, of health, of other stresses, of anxiety, that shouldn't be for us an opportunity to say, oh, we can't study Torah now. Just the opposite. That should be for us a way to channel our anxieties and our stresses into making our Torah study even more brilliant, even more special, even more sensitive. That's the message that of Vayeishev Yaakov be'eretz migurei aviv. Yaakov sought to settle, but he was told, no, we're going to give you the turmoil of Yosef. So let me just pause here.